Hey, welcome to Momentarily Speaking with me, Isha Anavaz. On this channel, we're going to focus on self care, nutrition, and mindset growth. We will feel well, move well, and live well on this channel. Let's build a stronger, more intentional us, one moment at a time. Thank you for watching. Hey, I'm getting ready to go on my morning walk, but before I do, I want to put out this video. I want to talk to you today about the number on the scale and why it's very misleading. A lot of times we focus on that number and we don't really look at the strategic component of that number. By the end of this video, you're going to know the two things that you want to track as you're losing weight so you don't waste your time. But I want you to know that number on the scale is more than just the number on the scale. I know that it sounds very simple and easy what I'm telling you, and you're probably like, what are you saying, lady? Just get to the point. I'm going to get to the point. Let's get started. Okay, so when I started my weight loss journey years ago, and the reason I say years ago is because I have been fighting this weight stuff for 20 years. What I've learned within the last 6 months about weight loss, if you don't want to educate yourself about your own body and ancestral DNA, you're not going to understand that number on the scale. Let me give you an example. If I'm at 168.8 today, and tomorrow I end up being at 171, and I don't look at what was the comparison between the 168 and the 171, then I'm just going to be let down and I'm going to feel like, oh God, I gained weight. Yeah, but what kind of weight did you gain? Did you gain muscle or did you lose muscle? Did you gain visceral fat or did you lose visceral fat? And so today I want to talk to you about the two things that work together that you have to understand. That's why I encourage you to get a composition scale. Depending on your budget, you can get one from 20 something bucks to 200 bucks. It just depends on you. But why do you want a composition scale? Because not all of us can go to the doctor every day, but a composition scale actually can set the boundaries of where we can start. And it does have a way for you to compare what happened yesterday versus what happened today. The two things that we need to understand is, how is my body reacting to insulin, and how is my body storing fat? So you've got to look at your visceral fat number, okay? And you've got to understand why your visceral fat is high. And today, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how those two work together. So, ideally, your body is supposed to take fat, okay, and use it as an energy fuel. Now, this happens when you're eating whole foods and non-sugar foods. Your body will actually, and you're eating meat, okay, your body will actually be burning the fat as it should be burning the fat. However, if you have processed foods and sugar in your body actually does the opposite. It stores the sugar and hits it inside your body. And what it does is the fat has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. So guess where it lays? It lays as visceral fat within your organs. Okay? So imagine this is the size of my heart. This right here is the size of my heart. I just want you to visualize it. And when I realized this, wow, this is sad. Visualize half of this fat just hugging your heart, because your body is storing sugar as fuel instead of using fat as fuel as a burning mechanism. So when your body has visceral fat, it is actually telling you, that number on the scale is telling you that, hey, I am actually using the sugar intake that you're having as fuel, and that's creating the insulin resistance. So when it creates the insulin resistance, the fat, it doesn't know where to go. And so what it does is it sticks to your organs, it sticks to areas. And we're not talking about this fat. We're not talking about this fat that I can pinch. This is not the fat that we're talking about. This is subcutaneous fat, okay? This is not the bad fat. It's the fat from this point of my under my chest, okay? Anything that you feel there's muscle in there, and then underneath the muscle, if you have visceral fat, okay, that's where it begins, all around your organs, all around your stomach area, okay. So for men, if you have visceral fat inflammation in your body, this is how it's going to look like, okay. You're going to have boobies, you're going to have a what they call beer belly, but in reality is a, is your body thinking that it's preparing for a child or something, because it's kind of like a pregnant belly. And that is very important for you men, because you guys have testosterone working for you guys. And man, I see a lot of young people and men my age in their 40s that are not taking advantage of the fact that you got to track your testosterone. And yes, if you have, those kinds of signs like inflammation in those areas, that's basically your body without a scale telling you, hey, I don't know where to go. I can't burn you off. So I'm just going to stick through the organs, okay? And just stick around until you decide to put more, fuel me with the right foods. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm in this journey with you. But what I'm realizing is that if my family had known this, my father and I, out of my family unit, my father and I were the skinny ones in our family. Everyone else was overweight. Okay. I started experiencing weight problems when, after my daughter was born. And if I had known that this is the one thing that I should have been focusing on, it would have made things much more easier. I'm talking to the man audience right now. Having beer is going to throw off your estrogen levels, okay? Which is why your testosterone is effing low. It's because of things like smoking and drinking alcohol. You stop that for 30 days, the testosterone that you guys have inside your body that you get to have for the rest of your life, if you manage it well, dude, like I wish as a woman, I wish that we had more testosterone. I would utilize that baby like there was no tomorrow. And a lot of men are not understanding that part. And what happens if you don't take care of your testosterone levels and your visceral fat levels now? Well, you're gonna start losing muscle, and then as you get older, you're just gonna become a weaker link. And also, if you're young and you're watching this, which I don't have a young audience, but let's say you're a mom and you're watching this and you have a son like I do, because I talk to my son about this stuff. We women, we carry the kids, we carry the child. Okay, so it's important that we eat the right foods as we are carrying that child. But the man gives out the seed. And if you are searching for a man, okay, in your life to have babies with, and you care about him, this conversation could be really, really good for them, because a lot of times these young men are like, they're drinking too much, they're smoking too much, and then they're like, they're having babies. What kind of generation are we going to have in the future? We're going to have a weak little kids walking around because we're not taking into consideration how important the seed of procreation is, and men have to own that. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I went off on that, but I think it's important for men to know that your visceral fat is connected to your testosterone level, how you're fueling yourself, how much alcohol you're drinking. So I would definitely, if I was a guy, I would utilize testosterone like no other. I would be like, okay, how's my testosterone and what can I do to activate insulin sensitivity in my body? And I'm telling you, if you, even if you ask ChatGPT or you ask Copilot, whatever you use as your AI, tell it to tell you, okay, this is, this is my goal. This is what I where I want to go. I want to go from this way to this way. Create a plan for me to focus on lowering my visceral fat and um and activating my insulin sensitivity. I'm telling you, it'll break it down for you. But I really care about men and being a mother of a son, and hopefully in the near future I have grandbabies. I cannot wait to be a grandma. But everything will come in its time. But it's just important for you guys to really take a look at that. Okay, so we're talking about insulin resistance and visceral fat and how it's connected, right? So let's understand, for us humans, just any humans, male, female, and however you identify yourself, fat is supposed to we it's part, okay, of our metabolic structure. Okay, you are supposed to have some type of fat in your body. In fact, when babies are little, the fat is what protects them. Like if they fall from the couch, okay, the fat that they have protects them to bounce off. Okay, because fat protects the muscle. Okay, a little bit of fat, the right amount of fat. Okay, is it's this is how it is. This is your bone, your muscle, and the fat. So visceral fat is where it's at. Visceral fat around your internal organs is the bad fat. There is a specific a fat that they talk about that goes around your heart, but the visceral fat that we're talking about today, that is insulin resistance. It's when your body cannot burn fat. When your body cannot burn fat, it's because it's using sugar as fuel and not allowing the fat to do what the fat is supposed to do, which is supposed to burn. If you do not focus on what you're fueling your body, you're already losing. And educating yourself is key. A metabolic unhealthy body that is going to lead to diabetes, dementia, heart disease, when all you have to do is focus on that visceral fat and your insulin resistance. Those are the two things that you need to focus on. Well, can I really mention insulin resistance? Yes, with your visceral fat number, because your visceral fat number is what's telling you, hey, I'm storing fat because I don't know what to do with it, because you're having too much sugar, because you're having too much processed foods, because you're not moving enough, because you're not hydrating enough. That's literally it. Visceral fat is the killer of us metabolically speaking, okay? And you can be skinny and have visceral fat. So don't be fooled into thinking that, oh, my number of the scale shows 120. It can show 120, but if you go to a DEXA scan, you may be surprised where your visceral fat is at. That's creating the extra 20 pounds of the 120. That's why it's so important to understand visceral fat, because had I known this is a formula, right? Had I known that when I look at the number on the scale, I need to be focused on how much muscle am I gaining and losing. And that's related to visceral fat, because visceral fat is inflammation in the body. I want to focus on whole foods. I want to focus on meats and vegetables and the other stuff, the add-ons. But I really, really want to get this visceral fat down. I started at 13 with my composition scale. Now I'm at 10. I really want to get to 8, in 90 days. And then if this works, the next 90 days, I want to get it to 6. I want to have the least visceral fat as possible and then get a DEXA scan to really visually see it. I don't have the funds right now to get an MRI, but apparently MRI is better than the DEXA scan. But in either case, tracking this the best way that I can as a health advocate is very important. Okay, so the shift. So this is what the goal is reducing sugar to align the body to burn fat instead, right? That's the goal. That's the goal that I have. That's what I have here. I want to reduce sugar intake to align my body to start burning fat instead. Okay? So, I I'm going to be calling that the shift. And what is the shift going to do it? Going to do for me? The shift is going to allow me to focus on eliminating processed foods, replacing it with whole foods. In the next shift, I'm going to be prioritizing hydration and sleep. For us women, we really, especially through perimenopause, we really need to focus on hydration and sleep, and taking our magnesium. We don't have enough magnesium in our daily food intake, unfortunately. So, men, to increase your testosterone, really look into zinc. The amount of magnesium that we don't get, especially through our daily food intake, it's not a joke. Like we really need to focus on hydration and sleep, and magnesium, K2 and D3 really does help. You can look into that if you want, and if you want me to make a video, please tell me that you want me to make a video on it, because I'll research the heck out of it and I'll make a video just for you. I don't care about likes, and I don't care about comments and having, I just care about the right people listening to this stuff, because I am literally passionate about teaching my family, you who's watching, to pass it on to your family. This is not a joke. We live in an era where we're so lucky that we get to have you know information at our fingertips. Don't take it for granted. Men, don't take your testosterone for granted. I beg you, don't do that. Don't do that to the future generation. You're gonna feel good. Once you start understanding visceral fat, okay, dude, you're gonna be performing like a freaking 20-year-old. Like, don't do that to yourself. I see a lot of, again, I don't know. Maybe this video is meant for men. Okay, okay, God. I see a lot of men with so much potential and amazing human beings that are just wasting their testosterone away. They're wasting the knowledge of how visceral fat impacts their body and their muscle. Um, the importance of protein in your life. These three things: your bone, your muscle, and your fat. They are all activated in some kind of way by proteins. And the protein intake that you fuel your body is very important for men and women. Walking after meals. I know that I've said utilizing strength training to activate insulin sensitivity. Oh my gosh, like, again, men, if you focus on your testosterone and activating your testosterone to a better level, you're you go to strength train, you are literally activating insulin sensitivity. You're the same thing for women. It's not a joke. You want to activate insulin sensitivity in your body? Go to the gym. Literally go to the gym. Take your magnesium, take your zinc, go to the gym. I'm telling you, you're going to activate insulin sensitivity. But the number one thing, here you go. The number one thing you need to do for the at least 30 days for both men and women: stop drinking alcohol and start eating whole foods for 30 days. You will see the difference. I'm seeing the difference. I'm seeing the difference. And I need to be more strategic with it. And I need to be more consistent with it. I'm committing myself in the next 90 days to be more consistent with this, because I want to activate, I want to burn. So yeah, that's what I had for you today. Let's activate, let's burn, let's get this going. If you're still with me at the end of this video, thank you so much. I'm getting ready to go on my morning walk, and I just had to put this out. I don't know. I know I focus on guys today, because I really have a burden for young men and men my age and older men as well. Um, I had the privilege of seeing my grandfather lived well into his 90s, and I want to do the same. I want to do the same for my own kids and my own grandkids. And I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.